You're my follower! Angry at me! Stupid! Stupid!
Lolcow, Lolcow!
Oh my god! Hey guys, welcome back to Bubby Club, and welcome to episode 1 of Lolcow Ranch. Today we're going to be talking about DSP, controversial gamer. He's done a bit of everything. He's a real bastard. So let's get into it. The story of Philip Burnell, aka DarkSydePhil, begins in the early 2000s. Beautiful time period, okay? At this point in time, Phil was competing in lots of local fighting game tournaments. And he was no good. He was no good at all. Not good at games. Phil hardly ever placed, and he was what we in the industry like to call a Tony Suckler. So yeah, DSP was really bad at video games, and he also was afflicted with chronic gamer rage, and this led to a lot of disputes between him and other tournament goers. Check out this clip.
DSP, stop recording. No one gives a shit. Play. You can't hold up a tournament. One man for DSP to report this match is disqualified.
Where am I playing? You still haven't told me. Jesus Christ, man. Treat you like you're Want me to run the fucking tournament for you?
Phil's behavior made him one of the most hated players in the Street Fighter community, but despite this, he continued to compete in tournaments anyway. This all reached a boiling point in 2005, when Phil decided to take out thousands of dollars in loans in order to compete in the Evolution Championship Series, aka EVO. Very good investment, Phil. Very good. Very, very good. Excuse me. Anyway, fast forward to the day of EVO, alright? Phil gets there, and he's got his celery sticks in one hand and a glass of OJ in the other, alright? He's all fired up and ready to game, baby. And oh boy, did Phil game that day. Phil gamed his little heart out, and despite being a complete brain-dead degenerate, the stars aligned, and Phil was able to place 4th in the tournament, only being beaten by 3 Japanese players. This technically made Phil the best Street Fighter player in the United States of America. But Phil wasn't really the best Street Fighter player in North America. It turns out EVO was using a version of Street Fighter ported directly from the arcades, alright? Because of this, the game had a lot of problems, and it was considered to be unbalanced by many of the top level players, alright? For this reason, a great deal of American pro players decided to boycott the tournament altogether. So that meant that DSP had little to no competition. This led to DSP developing a massive ego. Check this video out.
The whole internet beef with the whole ST thing, man. I mean, we've already talked about it. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, how about you let these people know the real Phil, the real reason for the hate. Let them know.
The real reason for the hate is because people just have massive disrespect. I mean, for years, these same guys are on top. And yes, I'm talking about John Choi. I'm talking about Alex Valle. Playing ST, placing, okay, they're good. But to disrespect the people that got top 8 at Evolution, to make excuses because it's on console, it's ridiculous. And it's unacceptable. for Valle to say that just because he didn't enter the tournament is the reason that the top 8 got top 8, that's bullshit. And I think that he needs to really prove himself and actually redeem himself for saying something like that, because it's disrespectful to everyone who did place top 8.
Now look, I don't know a lot about fighting games. I really don't care about fighting games at all. But to act like his placing had nothing to do with the lack of top players being present is absolute BS, alright? That's like Buddy, the dog from Air Bud, saying that he's the greatest player in the NBA, even though he never actually played in the NBA, alright? Yes, Buddy may have crushed it in the WNBA, but the NBA is a different beast together, okay? Just so we're clear. Anyway, I digress. In the following tournaments DSP competed in, he did awful. He did terrible. As you would expect, because he's not actually good at the game. But anyway, because of this, a bunch of pro Street Fighter players dragged him through the mud. Check out this clip.
That's the answer I was looking for. You got some idiot named DSP who's a total piece of shit, by the way. I like to get that on YouTube, but this guy thought he was hot shit because he beat me and Choi in a game that was like, it's like fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter or some crap, dude. and he was so proud that he put under his signature, he's the #1 US ranked Super Turbo player that year. But I mean, look at him now. I mean, he's just...
No, he's got 20,000 subscribers on YouTube.
20,000 idiots are subscribed to him. That's great. Congratulations. Congratulations with your YouTube channel, and hope you enjoy your life, bro. I mean, it's a great victory. PlayStation 1 Super Turbo champion. You know, take that to your grave, bro. Good luck.
After little success in the competitive gaming scene after the EVO tournament in 2005, DSP found himself on a then fledgling video streaming website known as YouTube. And honestly, he was fairly successful on YouTube. As one of the first content creators to upload gaming content to the site, DSP had himself a little monopoly of the early Let's Play community on YouTube. There weren't a lot of people doing it, so anybody that wanted to watch video games on YouTube kind of found him. In the early days, DSP would place his iconic dump truck ass down on his grime-encrusted couch and place a dusty camera on a coffee table and record his gameplay that way, like an idiot. But this was okay for early YouTube, because many people were not bothered by the terrible quality of Phil's videos. People were, however, bothered by Phil's terrible gamer skills. Phil was bad at video games, like really, really bad, alright? But people stayed around for Phil's reactions and commentary. But honestly, they mostly kind of just wanted to watch the guy get pissed off, because Phil was known to go absolutely mondo apeshit and blame the game instead of his own lack of skill. Anyway, time goes on and Phil keeps making his shitty videos. In this time, he also created 2 more channels, a vlog channel and a channel called DSP Tries It, an account where DSP engorges his fat, delicious tummy with burgers and other things. Eventually, the Rat Man is laid off from his job, okay? So he creates a Google AdSense account in order to monetize his videos, right? Makes sense. But the Rat Man's greed would be his undoing, okay? After getting accepted into Google's AdSense program, DSP began encouraging his viewers to engage with the ads in his videos and stuff so that he could make more money. Little did this bastard know that asking his viewership to do this was against Google's terms of service, so this caused his AdSense account to be suspended permanently. Now defeated and abandoned like some kind of whipped dog, DSP began uploading his videos to the website blip.tv so that he could monetize his videos. This didn't last long though, because DSP is actually incredibly racist, and this caused his account to be suspended from Blip as well. Here are some precious little clips that caused him to get banned.
He's fucking black! Help, he's black! Cause you know when he's black there's gonna be trouble. What the hell?
Alright, nigga, it's time!
China, they say, rashness brings success to few.
In China, they say, Chiggy Chang Wang Charlie Chan Chicka Chaka Choka Cha. Shut the fuck up. I don't care what they say in China.
This is what happens when you let the Jews do whatever they want. You've let the Jews overrun space, and now look at this. Their greed has had the artifact turn everyone into necromorphs. So now I, the last remaining Nazi, must exterminate them. Hello, Jew.
Right. So all those clips, among and you know a bunch of other stuff too, caused DSP to be banned from Blip, indefinitely, and he didn't respond positively to that. So check out his response here.
Phil is far from the only 28-year-old that has found themselves laid off from their jobs and in financial straits, but instead of sucking up his pride and taking a crappy job and moving back in with his parents, he's decided to panhandle his fan base. The relationship that DSP has with the fans is now totally based on money, and I fail to see how such a situation can end any way but badly. Save your pennies for your personal rainy days ahead, and force Phil to be accountable for himself. Holy shit. This guy fucking is so jealous of my popularity, and the fact that for 4 or 5 months now, yeah, I've been able to turn this into a business per se and been able to support myself, that he is fucking reporting me falsely to websites to try to get me banned and fuck me over, so I have to stop doing this for a living. Wow. You are a shithead.
You know, it's interesting that Phil puts it this way, because pretty much everything he just said is very inaccurate, right? He talks about, you know, being banned falsely by this guy, but he said all that nasty shit in those clips I just showed you, right? And then he also goes on to say how this guy is so jealous of his popularity that he's trying to, you know, bring him down. That's not what he's saying at all either. He's telling Phil that he needs to man up and stop being such a lazy asshole and, you know, maybe get off his ass instead of extorting all of his fans, you know, because, you know, being, you know, lazy and greedy is kind of what landed him in this situation to begin with. He was telling his fans to interact with his stuff so he could get more revenue, so that he could get, you know, more clout, more whatever. And that's ultimately what caused him to be banned from Google AdSense, you know. Had Phil not been so prideful and not tried to, you know, milk his fans for money, he would have never found himself in this situation. So I just find that kind of funny. It's really ironic. So going into 2011, Phil has basically screwed himself. He's got no source of income because he's banned from Blip and Google AdSense, and he's too prideful to get a crappy job, right? In comes Machinima, baby. They offer Phil a partnership, and he's able to continue making garbage content for a while longer. Phil is now faced with another problem, right? YouTube in 2011 is a completely different beast than YouTube in 2005, the year DSP started. First of all, there's a lot more content creators, so there's a lot of other people that, you know, viewers can watch instead of watching DSP. He's no longer one of the only people doing it, right? Second of all, these other content creators use things like capture cards and screen recorders and other things, and they're able to make much higher quality content than Phil, you know. Plus, they actually have a good personality to go with it, you know, some of them. And Phil, during this time, refuses, you know, to change with the times. He still sits on his dusty-ass couch and records stuff on his TV with a camera, alright? So, he's losing his viewership, and he's becoming irrelevant, and this is a problem. So as the year, you know, 2011 goes on, Phil keeps finding himself in more problems. He keeps starting drama for himself, he keeps attacking other YouTubers, and to top it all off, Machinima renegotiates his contract, and they start paying him less, right? 2011, not a good year for Phil. He's losing fans because he sucks. He's causing problems with, you know, other people because he's just genuinely a dick, and this is causing him to lose viewers. And Machinima, you know, axes his pay, causing him to lose money. And this is all due to his lack of viewership, and you know, it all goes back to his terrible personality. At the end of the day, the biggest, you know, problem that DSP has to deal with is DSP himself. He never stops shooting himself in the foot. He cannot make a good decision to save his life. At this point, Phil refuses to accept the reality of his situation, okay? He refuses to take accountability for his actions. And he starts to blame, you know, his lack of viewership, his decreasing numbers on YouTube or other people, never himself. DSP is never at fault at all. And this is a trend throughout everything. You look at old DSP all the way back in 2005. You look at, you know, DSP now in the year 2020, and he can never admit he's in the wrong. And this is a problem, and it keeps on coming back to bite him in the butt. Another pretty big thing that happens to Phil in 2011 is he starts dating this chick named Panda Lee Games, right? Her real name is Leanna Hagen, okay? She's 11 years younger than Phil, okay? And Phil waited until she turned 18 before ever talking about her publicly, alright? Who knows how long this bastard was talking to her beforehand? I mean, technically he's done nothing illegal here. There's no proof or evidence that suggests that he's done anything illegal. But it certainly is weird as hell. Look into that as you will. Anyway, my personal favorite DSP moment from 2011 is when he decided to do an Axe body scrubber review on his cock, dick, and balls. He filmed himself in the shower, rubbing himself down with a body scrubber. Check this out. I love this video.
Alright, how about the balls, huh? Yeah. Use the detailer to wash your balls. Yeah. Scrub the balls. Oh. I use the detail inside to wash off. Oh my god. Oh. You don't want to use the detail inside to wash your balls. Oh. Oh, that hurts. Ow.
God, I love that video, bro. That is a DSP classic right there. Anyway, 2012 begins, and some of DSP's fans have had enough of his BS, okay? Some fans began making montages of all the terrible clips from DSP's Let's Play series, and they started titling them, "This is how you don't play," followed by, you know, whatever game he was playing. And these series of videos mocking DSP actually ended up doing better than a lot of DSP's original content. Needless to say, DSP was pissed. A great deal of fans continued to upload montages of DSP's terrible gameplay and commentary, right? They mocked him by showing the worst clips they could possibly find from DSP. And DSP tried to get these videos removed, but he was oftentimes unsuccessful. And even when Phil was successful and able to remove a video, someone else would just re-upload it, alright? The videos were multiplying way faster than Phil could take them down. Phil's anger would continue to grow as his, quote, works of art were stolen from him, only further fueling the army of trolls.
They're $60. I paid them their fee to utilize the ingredients to make my work of art.
These troll montages actually indirectly helped Phil, at least for a little while. These montages got so popular that it ended up bringing viewership back to Phil's channel. But DSP still had an insufferable personality, right? So none of these viewers actually stayed around. So his overall viewer trend statistics still go down. He is still becoming more and more relevant. But he still has a lot of pride. The internet begins to perceive Phil in an increasingly negative light. In addition to that, Machinima cuts his pay again due to his decreasing viewership. Phil is making little to no money, so he begins streaming on the then new website, Twitch. While streaming on Twitch, Phil's image continues to deteriorate because he became infamous for banning and muting members of chat for being rude to him. Think of Phil like a kind of proto-Wings of Redemption type character, okay?
So, fuck all of you who are acting immature. This is what you get now. We're putting it into sub-only mode. You fucking idiots. I'm here trying to play a fucking game. It's hard to concentrate. Some people just aren't as intelligent. I don't even know what else to say, because if you're in my stream right now and you're whining and stomping your feet like a 5-year-old brat, you're just making yourself look bad. It's
Pretty cool stuff, Phil. Anyway, we're gonna time skip to 2014. Phil is back on his bullshit, and he takes out a huge loan in order to purchase a condo in Seattle with his girlfriend, okay? Phil's girlfriend is just as much of a lazy piece of stupid shit as Phil, right? So she didn't have any money or a job. This left Phil to be the breadwinner, and it meant that he had to support him and his girlfriend. Aside from this though, 2014 is a relatively uneventful year for Phil. In comes 2015, okay? Phil is in debt now, so he creates a Patreon in order to supplement his lost income, alright? Later that year, Phil would be swatted during an Arkham Knight livestream, but nothing actually really came of this. It was resolved peacefully, and it was just it was more annoying than anything else. Later that same week, Phil was also targeted again. This time he was being DDoSed on stream, but this would just be an inconvenience to Phil. It didn't really affect him at all. The real tragedy would happen later. Trolls began striking his videos, claiming that he had been stealing assets without people's permission. This resulted in Phil privating a large portion of his videos in order to resolve the issue. This unintentionally, though, led to Phil's viewership being hurt once again, as these privated videos were no longer garnering any views. This further hurt his already dwindling income, putting Phil into a very difficult situation. This causes Phil to start begging. He asks for an incredibly large sum of money on his Patreon to work on projects that he ultimately would not deliver on. Essentially, Phil began to manipulate his viewers into feeling pity for him so that he wouldn't end up homeless. During this time, Machinima would also cut Phil's pay for the final time. Not looking good, Phil. So 2015 comes and goes, and 2016 begins, right? And Phil messes up big time this year, okay? Before the beginning of one of his live streams, Phil accidentally streamed himself jerking off his cock and dick. Check this out. Good stuff, Phil. Real good stuff. Anyway, it turns out jerking his cock and ass on stream was actually probably the best career choice Phil had ever made, because it earned him a lot of attention and it even got him a spot on Keemstar's Drama Alert, as well as a bunch of other popular meme pages. This little stunt of Phil's caused for a spike in popularity, but it didn't last. In 2017, Phil began streaming on Twitch again, but these live streams were very different from his previous ones. In these streams, Phil can be seen talking about his finances, begging the viewer to donate and subscribe to his Patreon. Despite his failures piling up, Phil still refuses to take responsibility for his actions, blaming his failures on the YouTube algorithm and the gaming industry as a whole. Later that year, Machinima ends their contract with Phil, leaving him with no way to make money off the ads being played on his videos. Eventually though, Phil is able to sign a contract with Curse, and begins to make money on his videos once again. In comes Poltavi, baby. Some random startup company that promised to pay Phil better than Curse and protect him from copyright strikes. Seems like a really good deal, right? It was, actually. The deal was actually way too good. Poltave, also known as Laveria Media, was not able to give Phil what they promised, because they lied to Phil, and Phil, being the idiot he is, fell for it, alright? So this caused Phil to go crawling back to Curse, begging them to take him back on. And reluctantly, Curse did bring Phil back on, but they told him that they would not do the same if this ever happened again. It is now the year 2020. Phil has 14 credit cards. He is $500,000 in debt, and he has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, okay? He is lying and misrepresenting his assets on official court documents, and he's just being an idiot, alright? And on August the 10th of this year, 2020, he actually got the bankruptcy accepted. So DSP lives on, you guys. So stay tuned. More is in store. This roach will never die. So let's think back to the beginning of all this, okay? This guy was one of the first YouTube gaming content creators, and he had the potential to become one of the most successful content creators on the site. But this dude was just so damn lazy and so unlikable that he's made himself into one of YouTube's court jesters, okay? He's one of the biggest lolcows there is. Bet you're really regretting being that lazy bastard now, huh, DSP? So anyway, alright, well, if there is one positive thing that I can say about DSP, it's that this dude is a survivor, bro. This dude is an actual roach. You cannot kill him, he will not die. So credit where credit is due. DSP, #1 roach on the internet. So anyway, with that, you guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it if you stuck through to the end. It took a lot of work to make this video. I had to do a lot of research. I'll cite all my sources and things in the description below. I'd really appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe to the video. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. So don't be a bastard. Join the Bubby Club today. See you guys.
Walk for me, sir. 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 I'll see you after the function.